2001 Ford F150 work truck, 4.6 liter, long bed extended cab, 4x4. I recently purchased this pickup as a work truck. Not a whole lot of issues except the airbag light is on. So you can see it's flashing the code. You can collect the codes, count them, and you reference it off online, or if you have the manual, and it'll give you the DTC definition. For me, luckily, I have a scanner. I'm using the X-Tool D8. I've already went under the vehicle and integrated airbag module. We're going to go to read codes. Okay, so the two faults that I have: trouble code B1881, low or high resistance of passenger safety belt retractor. So I know it's going to be the retractor on the passenger side. I've already went over here and disconnected it. Here's your plug for the retractor. Here's the retractor itself. There's one bolt that holds it onto here. So I disconnected it, inspected it. Everything looked good. Another cool feature with the D8, you can do live data. So we know the driver's side retractor is the exact same. So we can use that for reference on the ohms or resistance value. Live data. Okay, so driver's pretensioner circuit resistance. 2.4 is what it's seeing from the plugged-in driver's side. That's probably around what it needs to be or what it's supposed to be. There's no faults present for it, so the computer is satisfied with seeing that value. If we go down to the passenger, resistance of passenger pretensioner circuit, 25.5. So that is the reason why we have the DTC, but it's probably showing a disconnect, like a break in the wire, disconnected, or it was an accident. So I came over here and I checked the connector. There's no corrosion. I make sure it was seated properly, plug it in. No change in resistance value. So I went online and I found the wiring diagram. And it shows that the SRS module is located over here. And it looks like the reason why it's not working, this wire is disconnected. And the reason why it's disconnected, probably from a rodent. Probably a mouse got in here and chewed up the wires, because there's multiple wires that have the insulation removed, but the only fully disconnected wire is going to be this one. Red with the yellow. Now if we come back over here to the wiring, as you can see, the yellow and red wire. And if you look at the schematics, it shows that this is the control module for their SRS connector. So I'll go ahead and reconnect this. We will check the ohm value and erase the DTC and see if this is the fix. So in the SRS wiring, it's not recommended to repair it. It's recommended to replace the wiring. But since it's in the pretensioner, I'm just going to repair it. If it was something in the airbag, I would be cautious in looking to getting a new wiring harness from the factory. But I'll go ahead and get this reconnected. We'll check the resistance value and see if the DTC erases. Okay, so I made the repair. One thing I recommend getting is a heat shrinkable connectors like these or this one. I have a small portable butane torch, so I crimped it on, heat shrinked it. I will be wrapping this entirely with electrical tape once done, and also there's a couple other wires that I want to go through and wrap. But I wanted to show a quick note in case you want to bench test your seatbelt tensioner. So just a simple multimeter, set to 200 ohms. Have my connectors. You can see right here I have T-pins. You don't ever want to back probe the connectors. Why? Because these terminals right here, or these probes, can be larger than the connectors. If you shove them in there, they're going to be loose. And then when you put your connector on, you probably have a faulty connection. So I recommend buying these T-pins. Very inexpensive. You can get a large pack for maybe $5 on Amazon. That being said, then I have the alligator clips on there. So if we come to the meter, we can see that the ohm or the resistance value is 3.9. So that's telling us it's not open. There is a value. We know the driver said 2.5 on the computer. This one says 3.9 on the meter. So we'll go ahead and get everything reconnected, and then we'll rescan it and see if we can clear the fault. One quick note too, anytime you are replacing, altering, repairing SRS related components, or even electrical components in general, unplug your battery. And I would wait at least 15 to 20 minutes to let all the computers go to sleep so everything discharges in case it has capacitors. That way you don't accidentally have a bag explode or something else happen. Could be extremely dangerous. Alright, back to it. Wires are repaired, wrapped with electrical tape. I plugged in the seatbelt pre-tensioner, passenger side. Connector's tight. We're going to go ahead and see if we can clear the fault. Okay, so the original fault that we were diagnosing to repair, passenger side resistor. Let's go back to clear. Okay, race successfully. Let's read faults. No faults, good sign. Let's check our live data. Okay, remember driver's side was 2.4, that's good. Let's look at our passenger. Look at that, 2.2. Only parts used was some electrical tape, butt connector. Probably less than $1 in supplies. I spent about 45 minutes on this. So 2.2 is all due to a wire being chewed up by a rodent. Should be no more lights on there. No more lights. So we're good to go. That's why it goes along with the good saying, test, don't guess.